Hello, I am Matt McRae, agent and success coach here at fexsuccess.com. If you're watching this video, you must be looking for a new opportunity in the final expense niche market. Whether you're currently licensed or you're an aspiring agent wanting to get licensed, I'm glad you came. I'm glad you're watching this video. And in the video, I'm going to go over a handful of things just to kind of outline what the final expense niche market is all about. So we're going to go over agent opportunity. We're going to go over miss opportunities, or what I like to call traps in the final expense industry. We're going to go over the cost of succeeding in the final expense industry. We're going to go over the true workload. What is the true workload? What does it take for an agent to be successful? What you need to know about the final expense market. And we're going to go over the market and the competition. So let's go ahead and get started with the market and the competition. You know, one of the first things to go over is in this industry, in the United States, we're in the middle of the baby boomers aging in. So we have a ton, we have a ton of opportunity. There's 10,000 people a day, every day, turning 65 in this market. We market to the people who are 50 to 80, 85 years old, in that range. You know, so baby boomers aging in. We've got the rising cost of funerals. Years ago, funeral would cost $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Just 10 years ago, maybe $7,000. The average funeral today is around $12,000 to $15,000, and it continues to go up. So people are needing to protect more and more. You know, if they had a $3,000 or a $5,000 policy, thinking that was going to get it, now that they see the rising cost, so people are adding on insurance all the time. Another thing about this market. Super simple. Everybody dies. Everybody is going to need this type of protection. So the competition, let's talk a little bit about the competition and what else you're going to find when you're out there in the final expense market. And the big part of the competition is a lot of carriers that are selling this stuff over the television, where they're running commercials all the time. People are picking up the phone, calling in, and just going ahead and taking a policy and not knowing exactly what they're going to get. And there's a lot of agents out there who work just primarily for one carrier. And when they're working for one carrier, they can't always do what's best interest for the client. So there's a ton of opportunity out there with competition selling the wrong policies, and there's a ton of opportunity out there based on the market and the people that are in this market. Now, in this market, we are looking for, the average Betty, average Johnny. We're not looking for the people within the white collar jobs, the upper income echelons. We're looking for people who have worked hard, blue collar, just good old people, and you can find these people everywhere. So that's a great thing about the market, the competition. So let's talk next about the workload. And when I'm talking about the workload, that's what does it require from you to be successful in the final expense niche market. And let me tell you, it's not easy work. We work 50 to 60 hours week in, week out. It's hard work. You have to study. You've got to know your product. You have to know your competition. You have to work long hours. You have to see people when they can see you. You have to call and set appointments. You have to work in an office and call and get on the phone and set appointments so you have people to see. You've got to run appointments. You should be running 6, 7, 8 appointments a day, 4 days a week, easy. Spend a day in the office learning and setting appointments, and the rest of the week you're going to be out in the field going out and seeing those people. Some agents work 2 days in the office, 2 half days in the office, but for the most part, the agents who are successful, they're pounding the phones. They're going out seeing people on a daily basis. So you have to work hard. You've got to study. you've got to put a lot of miles on your car. This is a very demanding business. If you're the type of person that's not that doesn't want to be a hard worker, that doesn't want to put effort in, don't want to hustle, you should probably just stop watching this video now and go find another type of career or something else to get into. Go to work for somebody else. This probably isn't for you. But on the other hand, if you're a hard worker, you can be coachable. That's a big thing. You have to be coachable to be good in this industry, because there's a lot of people out there that are going to try and tell you what to do, and you got to understand and you got to listen to other people. We're going to help you with as much of that as we can, and that's just what we do here. So big workload in this industry. What are the traps? What are the other agencies? What are other insurance companies that are doing a lot of recruiting? And that's one of the traps. That's all they focus on is recruiting. They promise you the world and they deliver nothing. They just want to get you contracted with their company and hope that you make it. We don't do that. But some of the things that you want to look out for out there are the carriers or the agencies who recruit and they only work for will only sell one product, or they only have one carrier's product lines. That's never a good choice. You are going to see 20, 25 people on a weekly basis, and every one of them is going to have a different situation, a health condition, or they're going to be overweight, or they're going to have certain situations in their health or in their lifestyle that's not going to allow them to fit into the one single carrier that you have. So stay away from the insurance carriers or agencies that are trying to recruit you, who only offer one insurance company to write business for. That's typically not a good situation. Not a good situation because you don't have a briefcase full of carriers that you can sell and offer to your clients the best program. But also, typically, these carriers, what they do is they don't vest you. And what I mean by vesting is, you should work with carriers and agencies who are going to vest you 100% from day one. What vesting means is, let's talk a little bit about commissions. When you go out and you sell an insurance, a final expense life insurance policy to a client, and they start making, they get approved and they pay their premiums, the insurance company is going to advance you on what they're expecting for that client to pay. Typically an advance is typically about 9 months. So you're going to earn 9 months worth of commissions. And then starting the 10th, 11th, 12th month, you're going to still get first year commissions. And then the 13th month, you're going to get called what's renewals. So as they're renewing their policy month in and month out, you're going to earn that commission. Now, vesting, what that means is, when you sell the policy, if you're vested, you get to continue to earn that commission as long as that person stays on the books, as long as your commission structure with that carrier goes out, which should be indefinitely. The further out it goes, the smaller percentage that you're earning and getting paid as a commission. But what happens with these carriers who trap you into their program? States in their contracting typically that you're not vested until you've been with them for 2 years. So you've got to work 24 months before you are able to keep all of the renewals that you build up. If you leave for any reason, whether it's because you decide to go move on and go somewhere else, maybe it's your health. It could be anything that's making you decide to go off somewhere else, or they decide to let you go. What happens with those commissions that should have been going to you if you were in a proper contract is they're going to go to your manager, your upline, or whoever it is, or the agency owner. The commissions will still get paid. They're just not going to get paid to you. And that's not fair. That's not right. So that's one of the traps to look for, is to make sure that you're not getting into a contract where you're trapped. They're keeping you, if you be vested. Here at FEX Success, we vest all of our agents immediately from day one. If you write a deal with us, you're going to be vested for as long as that policy stays on the books. You're going to earn the commissions each and every month as that client is paying the premiums. The other thing to watch out for, and this happens a lot of times with the same types of agencies, and it happens with a lot of different IMOs as well, releases. You know, if a release, let's say you're writing business with a certain carrier, we're not going to use any carrier names in the video, but let's say you're writing with company ABC, and they are a great company to work for. You love them, you're contracted through them through a certain agency, and you decide one day to leave this agency that you're with and go out and sell on your own or sell with another agency. Well, you can't sell company ABC anymore unless the agency that you were with provides you with a release. So if they're not going to give you a release, you would be required to not write company ABC for at least 6 months. And at the end of 6 months, you could recontract. Typically, with most carriers, they make you wait 6 months. You could recontract with that carrier through another IMO or through another agency at that point. So don't get stuck in another one of the traps based on a release issue. Make sure that anytime that you go to work for any agency or IMO, that you have it in writing that they'll release your contract from the get-go. Another thing to mention is in the traps is you want to stay away from the carriers that all they want to do is just recruit agents. That's all they're doing is just recruiting agents. Stay away from those. So the things that you want to look for in the traps or what to stay away from when you're looking at an insurance agency to go to work with. Look for the vesting, look for the releasing, and make sure that they're not just recruiters. Make sure that they also are out in the field themselves. Those are the three things that you want to make sure. If they're personally producing agents themselves, they're not just focused on recruiting. They're in the trenches with you. They're working the same leads that you're working. They're providing you with training. They're helping you succeed and be a success in the final expense niche market. So those are the three things to look for. So next topic, let's kind of talk a little bit about what you need to know. And I've got on here, listen to this. This is very important. Most agents that start out in this business end up failing. There's multiple reasons that they end up failing, but they don't end up failing because there's the lack of opportunity. There is so much opportunity in this market. If an agent doesn't succeed or make it in this market, it's based on something that they're doing or not doing. And typically what we found is the agents that aren't succeeding are the ones that are not working. Not putting in the hard work that we talked about a minute ago, 50 to 60 hours, studying, learning the product, learning the carriers, learning sales techniques. But with all that being said, 90% of the people who enter this market don't last 1 year. They get in, they're gone. They're moved on, they went and found something else because they weren't able to make it work. Now what we do at FEXSuccess.com is we show agents who come aboard with us, agents who don't come aboard with us. Our goal is to help more agents who get into this market be very successful. And we understand that many of those agents will come work with us, and we understand that many agents will go work elsewhere. But we're still going to do what it takes to make as many agents successful in the final expense niche market as we possibly can. That's our goal, number one goal. That's why we have FEXSuccess.com. Another thing, that you need to know, you need to understand. In order to be successful in this market, you have to have leads. Leads are your lifeblood. If you don't have leads to work, you're not going to make it. You have to have leads. You have to be able to have people to go see. That's what makes this work. Now, with that being said, do you have to buy leads? It's highly recommended. Can you make it without buying leads? And you can just, if you're a hard work, if you want to work even harder. And what I mean by even harder is, if you don't have a good lead card or a telemarketing or some form of final expense lead of people that you can go see on a consistent basis, week in, week out, day in, day out, month in, month out, year in, year out, you have to be able to work even harder. You've got to go door knock, cold door knocking. You have to do cold calling on the phone to find clients. You know, if you're not going to spend your money on leads, you're going to spend a lot more time. I recommend that you always have a lead program. Not one lead program, but 2 lead programs. You have a main lead program that provides you with your main consistent flow. And if something's going on with your main lead flow, and you can't get the number of leads that you desire or you need to make the amount of money that you're working on a weekly basis, or one week it's just slow, enough leads didn't come in, you need to have a backup source to get you extra leads where you can get those quick. I recommend final expense mailers. You've got to be doing direct mail. You got to get 20, 30, 40 of those on a weekly basis if you're going to be successful. And on the weeks that many mailers don't come back with your name on it for you, because you can never 100% predict the mail, you've got to have a telemarketing company that you can get on the phone and call them, and they're gonna bust out 10, 15, 20 leads for you that week to give you an increased number of leads in your hand. If you're sitting there stale with no leads, no way of getting leads, you're not gonna make it. So, what you need to know, most agents fail, and you have to have a good flow of leads. That's it. Oh, and it's hard work. That's something else you got to know. So the 3 things that you really need to know is, most agents fail. If you don't want to fail, then you have to do hard work. Along with your hard work, you're going to need to have a good lead source. Speaking of good lead source, that's the next part that we're going to talk about, and that's the cost. What is the cost of what does a successful final expense agent typically spend on leads? And I'm going to answer that question anywhere from $400 to $900 on a weekly basis, week in, week out. They're spending that much money. But in order to, and what they're doing is they're spending $400 to $900 on a weekly basis to purchase the leads. And what that does, that gives them enough qualified clients or prospects who they can go out and actually see and sell insurance to. And when they're selling insurance, if you've got 30, let's just say 30 people that you can talk to on a weekly basis, week in, week out, 30 people mailed in a response card requesting you to provide them with additional information. So 30, let's say that you are closing 20% of those. So that would be 20%. That's going to give you about 6 sales on a weekly basis. Can you make it on 6 sales? Yes. But you want to sell a higher percentage of that. You want to close more than 20%. That's the low end. You should be closing at least 20% of your leads, especially if you have a good direct mail lead program. So you're going to spend $400 to $900 on a weekly basis on purchasing leads. It's the lifeblood of your business. If you don't think that you're going to be able to afford that, stop watching. Go find another industry. But I'm going to show you, or we're going to show you how much you can expect to make in this industry as well. So if you can spend that amount of money, you're gonna have a very good chance of making a six-figure income. With six-figure income, you're gonna be spending $400 to $900 on a weekly basis out of your income to pay for that, but you're still gonna have six-figure income at the end of the day. You're actually gonna make six figures after you subtract out the cost of your leads. I have agents all over the country doing that. We'll show you how to be successful in the final expense market. So now let's talk about the opportunity and what we're looking for here at FEXsuccess.com. We're looking for someone who's interested in a career, whether you're a licensed agent already or you're somebody who's aspiring to be an agent, specifically final expense agent. We're looking for somebody who is willing to hustle, willing to put in the hard work that it's going to take, is able to and willing to put in the investment that it's going to take to make you successful. If this is you and you're a hard worker, you're coachable, you have to be able to listen to, we're going to walk you down a path of success. If you can be coachable and you can listen to the direction that we're going to provide you, that's who we're looking for. So, hard worker, coachable, willing and able to invest in your career, whether you're licensed or not already. If this is somebody that you think you might be, and this might be an opportunity for you that that you would like to have more information on. If you're not licensed, watch video. This is video 1 right now. You're going to watch video 2 next. If you're already licensed, whether you're selling final expense or some other product, you're going to skip video 2 and you're just going to go straight over to video 3. And in that video, I'm going to outline the commission program, the actual cost of the leads that, because what we do is we cost share our leads with our agents. So we're going to pay a portion of we're going to invest in you. And in order for us to invest in you, we want to make sure that you're hardworking, you're coachable, all this stuff. And if that's you, then we want to bring you onto our team. If it's not you, if you're not hardworking, if you're not coachable, if you don't have the money to invest in leads, but you still want our training, that's fine. We're going to give you all of our training with the exception of our advanced training. A couple of tutorials in our website that are advanced training that's protected for the agents who are actually contracted with us. And that's where we're going to provide you with all the forms that you can use in the home and all the good stuff. Not that the basic training is not the good stuff, because we teach you a lot of techniques in the basic training as well. So if that's you, we're going to provide you with training, support, money for your leads, to help you with your investment. We're not going to pay for all of your leads, but we're going to help you invest. And we're going to give you very fair, good, high-level contracts. So that's it. If this looks or sounds like something that you may want to look further into, licensed agents, jump off to the 3rd video. Non-licensed people who are interested in becoming licensed, video 2. Other than that, thanks for watching and have a great day.